What's up, everybody? My name's Ryan. These are my 1960s Ludwig standards, and if you've got a keen eye, you'll notice that there's no bottom heads on them. I can just put my hand in the bottom of the drum. That's because 2 weeks ago or so, I was recording a country band. I was not playing on the session, but they trust me to give them some good sounds, and they were going for like a 70s Waylon Jennings outlaw country kind of thing. So we took the bottom heads off of these drums and stuck the mics in the bottom to get just the biggest, fattest, like Elton John, Nigel Olsson, just big, thumpy, thuddy tom sound. So I am going to be taking this kit off and replacing it with one of my Gretsch for the session that I have tomorrow. And I figured, since I have the concert toms here, let's see what kind of difference it might make by putting the microphone back on top, which is how you would normally mic a double-headed tom. You don't really want to mic it from the bottom because that's not the one that you hit, although, there are always exceptions to these rules. But yeah, let's see if we can hear any difference. I've actually never done this before. So it's worth mentioning that in a lot of photos I've seen of drums from the 1970s, big concert tom kits, I want to say Peter Criss, maybe Phil Collins, the mics were usually mic'd, or the drums were usually mic'd from the bottom. And I've always been keen on, trying to get the biggest sound possible. And I guess I just assumed that was the case. I know for a fact that Todd Zuckerman tells people when they're miking his kit that you have to mic the gong drum from the bottom, and that's what I do on the big kit here to my left. And I have tried it on that drum, and you get a significant amount more bottom end by miking it from the inside of the bottom of the drum. So let's see if that happens here. Starting with single hits. Well, I have to say I'm surprised at how different they are. Of course they sound like my drums in my room, but not only do you get less cymbal bleed by miking from the bottom, but I liked the attack better. It was a little bit brighter than miking from the top. Maybe the top is a little warmer, a little woodier sounding, but when I'm doing some sort of tom grooves like I played, I thought that the sort of more 5K attack out of the bottom position was just a little crisper and more flattering on the sounds of those drums. Miking from the top actually did have a little more bottom end on the floor tom, but you get more cymbals, so I feel like when you have better isolation, you can EQ more drastically, and you can potentially get a fatter sound out of the sounds that are more isolated than from the top, even though you might naturally get more bottom end. So always a balancing act when you're recording drums like this. Of course, one thing that I did notice with the top position was that I had to boost the tom mics by about 6 dB to bring them up to the same level as the tom mics placed underneath the drums. I'm not entirely sure why. It should be about the same. Maybe it's a positive pressure sort of thing, but I did have to do that, and obviously I had to flip the phase because it's pushing versus pulling. I'd love to hear what you have to think. Do you like concert toms? Do you not like concert toms? Do you think it's the best sound you've ever heard? Do you think it's the worst sound you've ever heard? It's worth trying. It's a totally different sound than double-headed toms. So I'm going to sign off, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.